You guys, this is the first ever tops and bottoms for Summerslam. I'm so excited for Summerslam.
You're a burping gutter slut.
What in the world? Look at Lena go! Milkomania is running.
Yippee-ki-yay!
Oh my God!
I'm something about it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Tops and Bottoms. My name is Joey Mayberry. I am your dad bod demigod, and I am here to run down the entire card of WWE's SummerSlam. SummerSlam is officially the first WWE pay-per-view to take place inside of the Thunderdome, and honestly, I don't think this show disappointed. But I am going to run down each and every single match of the card, letting you know if they are a top or a bottom. Now, it's time to go ahead and treat this like a summer pool party. It's the biggest party of the summer. Let's dive right on in.
Into the corner, and Apollo Crews continues to push the advantage.
Do it again.
Splashing down on MVP. Swing Buster.
First match we got for the night was actually in the pre-show. It was the United States Championship match between MVP and the champion Apollo Crews. We've seen this feud take many ups and downs. It's a veritable roller coaster throughout the entire quarantine season of WWE. I have to say it was good, but I've seen it. This has been going on for a while now with the Hurt Business going back and forth with Apollo Crews. I'm a little bit past it at the moment, a little bored with it. This match didn't really do anything other than kind of give us something to watch during the kickoff. Unfortunately, without the sizzle and the spice that I needed, I'm going to declare this match a bottom.
And now look at this. Banks on the apron took the bullet for Bayley, and Bayley rolls up Asuka down and retains the championship.
After we saw the United States champion retain, it was time to jump into the overall pay-per-view, and the first match that kicked off SummerSlam was the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley defending her title against Asuka. Speaking of feuds that have just been across the board roller coaster, Asuka and Bayley and Sasha Banks have been in every single type of scenario you can possibly imagine over the last few months. We've seen them fight each other, we've seen them volunteer each other to fight. Now we are finally coming to a head with this whole scenario where Asuka's going to fight both champions on SummerSlam. The match saw Sasha Banks ultimately sacrifice her well-being to make sure that Bayley was okay, and Bayley got the win with a roll-up, albeit, but a creative roll-up, a new spin on the most devastating move in professional wrestling, the roll-up. I really enjoyed this match. They both brought the fight, so I am declaring Bayley and Asuka the first top of SummerSlam.
Earn your shirt, Dawkins. Come on.
Dawkins, big opportunity to turn this around. Elbow right in the teeth and a big forearm to the mouth of Garza. Oh.
The next match was for the Raw Tag Team Championships. It was the Street Profits defending against Angel Garza and Andrade. Someone on the comments of Ring the Bell referred to them as Latino meats, and I can't unsee it, and it's my favorite thing in the entire world. So, Latino meats versus the Street Profits. This match has had a lot of build-up. There was a whole poisoning angle where Zelina poisoned Montez Ford. Don't fully understand what came of that other than the fact that it pissed off Montez's wife Bianca, who was nowhere to be found at SummerSlam. So even when Zelina got involved, I was like, yo, what's going on? But this match was a lot of standard back and forth action. I really enjoy Montez Ford so much. I think he is so charismatic and so beyond almost anyone else in the match. His facial expressions, the way he moves in the ring, I just enjoy him. I think he's very great. Really wishing that we could drop the Garza portion of the Andrade Zelina thing and just go back to Andrade Zelina so that Andrade can be, pushed up the card a little bit more. But for right now, this is good placement for where they're at. This match was very basic. It seemed like something that we were going to get on Raw, but, kicked up a notch. The really only downfall that I can think of is that we didn't have a Bianca fight in the middle of it. But overall, I liked it. I'm going to give it a top.
And Rose now coming back against Deville, but a knee to the midsection stops the flurry. Oh, and a knee!
The knee takes out Sonya, covered by...
Next up, it was originally supposed to be a hair versus hair match, but on SmackDown we saw it change to a loser leaves WWE match. It was a no DQ fight between Sonya Deville and Mandy. Mandy Rose. This match was a letdown. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted so much from this match because it's really one of the few feuds in the WWE Women's Division that doesn't circulate around those belts that are currently, or were currently, around the waist of Sasha Banks and Bayley. So I really wanted them to be able to come out and showcase what they could do. Mandy Rose came out. That outfit was a choice. That was bad. Sonya Deville looked fierce. I'm in love with Sonya's character and everything that she is doing on WWE television. This match, though, was just, it didn't seem to work. There was no real click there. Everything just kind of felt wonky, and I was really disappointed, but honestly, it could just be from the fact that both of these women are dealing with a lot of ish outside of the ring. Totally understand on that, but this match was just kind of disappointing. Sonya Deville is now leaving WWE. It's a bottom.
And a stop to Dominic Mysterio in front of his father.
The next match was a street fight, following up with the Eye for an Eye storyline. It was Dominic Mysterio taking on the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. I just say Dominic impressed me. I know he's not really had his WWE debut until tonight. I know he's been doing some training, but he looked really good for somebody who's veritable fresh to the camera. It was very, very nice to see. I loved his gear. I really enjoyed this entire angle leading up to the son trying to defend the father. Ultimately, we saw the Monday Night Messiah get the win, handcuffing Mysterio to the ropes, watching him defeat his son. It was very, very gripping, honestly, because you've seen them come through so much, and you really wanted to see the baby faces defeat the heels in this scenario. Beating someone's family apart, ripping out their eyeball, you really did need to see a babyface payoff here, and we didn't get it. The match was good, but storyline-wise, I think it just kind of leaves us going, please, sir, can I have some more? And I don't know, it's a good match, a good solid outing for Dominic, but I don't feel like the storyline was achieved to what it needed to be. So I'm going to declare this match a bottom.
Sasha Banks. Look at that smile on the face with Sasha Banks, a little premature. Now off the top, over the DDT from the top turnbuckle.
Next up was the Raw Women's Championship match. It was time for Asuka to try it again and get that Raw Women's Championship back from Sasha Banks. She ultimately did. This match, though, golly. Oh my god, it was so good. Asuka and Sasha Banks just go like peanut butter and jelly. That was such a good match. It worked so well. They complemented each other to a T throughout the entire thing. Then we ultimately got to see some storyline continuation where Bayley was not willing to sacrifice herself in the same way that Sasha Banks did, and it ultimately did cost Sasha Banks the match because you didn't have that slight hesitation from Asuka. And it was a very, very minute detail, but it really worked. And then the facial expressions that sold after Bayley and Sasha were finally seeing that what happened, it all worked. It was all great. Honestly, I'm declaring this match of the night, not just the top, the top. This was daddy top.
Avoid the draping.
Oh, give us a guess.
The Glasgow kiss from McIntyre.
Randy Orton on wobbly legs.
And Orton and McIntyre both over the top to
The next match was the WWE Championship. It was the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre putting his title on the line against the vicious viper Randy Orton. Now, we've seen Randy Orton defeating all the legends, punting them in the head repeatedly. He is punting more than Pat McAfee. I don't know what it is. It was good, but it wasn't new. But I just remember watching the match and being like, this is good, but it's just not, it doesn't make me feel anything. I think it's because I've already seen Randy Orton do the whole legend killer thing. Maybe that's why I just don't care about the fact that he's been punting people, because that's what he's always done. It's never been that like huge deal for me. Like back in the day, yeah, I was into it. Maybe the children of today are feeling the same way I did when I was watching him be the old school legend killer and taking out people like, what, 10 years ago now? But the match itself really wasn't bad. It left a little bit to be desired, but I did overall just enjoy it. It was a solid little match. I do think it maybe should have been earlier on in the night. It didn't really resonate as a main event match, but it was still a good match, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a top. Also, I want to add in that Keith Lee is coming for that belt, Drew McIntyre.
The peril, he is in here. And now slowly back to his feet is the monster, driving the Fiend into the apron and breaking the attempted mandible.
Finally, we got to the main event of the evening. It was what's been built as a horror show, what's been built as you'll never see it coming. Maybe it did end that way, but it didn't start that way. It was Braun Strowman defending his Universal Championship against The Fiend, Bray, Wyatt, in a match that was just, I did not enjoy this match. I was watching it and I was just like, guys, come on. You built this story into this crazy, maniacal Braun Strowman type deal and just none of it landed. It didn't feel like what that big SummerSlam moment was meant to be. I was also really confused because you've had Alexa Bliss in this storyline doing her thing and then she was not present at SummerSlam. What was the point of having her involved anyway? Because you brought her in, did this whole thing, had Braun Strowman go, I don't give a crap about you, and then veritable drop her from it. This wasn't fun. So I'm giving the match a bottom. Let's talk about after the match. The Fiend won, Roman Reigns came back. Yes, this is everything I needed from Roman Reigns, everything I needed from the WWE. I did not see it coming. They got me with the tagline. You did get me. Good job. SummerSlam was pretty much a tie. There was a lot of bad. There was a lot of really good. The good did outweigh the bad for me, though. I'm declaring SummerSlam a top. What did you guys think? Do you agree with my opinions? What did you think of WWE SummerSlam 2020? Leave a comment right down here. Also, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. It's somewhere over here. It's down here. If you'd like to follow me around social media, please do. I'm Joey_Mayberry across pretty much everything. Also, check out Ring the Bell, where I am covering women's wrestling each and every week, along with a slew of other wonderful people. And guys, thank you so much for watching my first ever SummerSlam edition of Tops and Bottoms. I feel so cool for the summer. Okay, I'm gonna stop singing that song. I've been doing it for like a week now. But that means summer's ending too. Now I've got that summertime sadness. Kiss me hard before you go.